All right. Howdy, 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 everyone. It's been a hot minute. It is me, Woat, here on Dangwoo's stream because, yeah, I'm not actually going to come back anywhere normal. That would be weird. But, yeah, I'm here, and with me in the booth is Duchess for Kaiosama. How you doing, Duchess? I think we've managed to dodge each other for like 2 months.
I know, but I'm finally in the booth with you, and let me tell you, like, I'm extra boosted because before I was even duck licking or anything, I was listening to you, fam. So it's an honor for me to be in the booth with you.
All right. And yeah, we have some exciting stuff going on tonight. A 2v1 handicap match here for the Heavy Metals Championship. And Darkmoon and Dwight being in co-op mode, that being the two of the one, the two versus the one, are already on the world map, while SpellzApp is sitting in the party selection menu like a good single player. So, I have no idea what Darkmoon's party is.
This is
Straight
wild.
up.
This is wild. I mean, SpellzApp is just flexing. He's like, you know what? I don't even care. Both of y'all can sit. You can have the co-op. You can get items. Y'all can share between you. I'll even sit in the starting screen before y'all. Woo!
So Dwight, I believe, has 2 red mages and a fighter, and I cannot remember for the life of me what his third party member is. It's probably another mage. Might be a thief, actually. I think it was a thief. We'll find out the first time they get into a fight.
Exactly.
But, I don't know. I don't think that it's necessarily as big an advantage for these two, because this is for for the title. So only one person can win. So while Darkmoon and Dwight are technically working together, oh, they're off. Yeah, while they are technically working together, they are technically also working against each other. So right off the bat, we've got Temper and Ice 3 in Black Magic.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Like, I mean, granted, you know, you technically don't want to see Temper and anything else on the same slot, but at level 1, you're going to get so many charges, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, and everyone brought at least 2 Black Magic casters, so that's not an issue.
Ooh, level 1 life as well, and also heal 2. I mean, that's not bad, so.
Yeah. Well, more importantly, level 1 life in that first slot, so that's fighter, it's going to be fighter accessible, which is where you like to see life.
Absolutely. And armor is looking... everything has a chain armor plus 2. That's great. That steel armor can take a trash can, but...
Yeah, no, that chain armor plus 2, that's almost good enough to just carry you to the end game. It's at least gonna get you through the Sea Shrine.
Oh, absolutely. So far, looks like we've already seen 2 towns. Corneria Castle was a town, though I'm not sure. Oh, it looks like we are there already. So is that
that's Gaia?
Looks like.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Let's
Gaia
see
and
if there's anything
Canaria.
in the item shop.
Yeah, Gaia and Canarian neighbors, and we saw one of the Cardia caves up at the Temple of Fiends. So.
That's correct. And we just saw the herb in the item shop at Gaia as well for about 48k. So.
Okay, well, we ain't buying that anytime soon.
Nah. Still good information, though.
Yeah. So we do have free ship, as well as free canal, so most of the world is open to them, although not the northern continents today. That's actually not the progression that's turned on.
Open southern, not open northern. Touche, touche.
Yeah. So they're definitely going to be in the market for a canoe and an airship, but at the very least they can get to the Melman continent, and once they have that canoe, they can go check Castle of Ordeals.
Indeed. Looks like we got some unrunnable scums on Dwight's side, and he's contemplating whether or not he should take these on, and he's like, nah, we're not doing it.
I don't know, with that Ice 3 in my pocket, I might go for it. And I think SpellzApp's over in, I want to say, one of the 2 Elfland locations, and has already found Temple of Fiends. So.
And also a Biggs as well, which is good. So he's already got one of the orbs.
Yep.
The show up,
Yeah.
rather.
We are looking for 28 Biggses tonight, which, I'm used to them looking for wedges, so this is a change of pace for me.
Indeed, bigs, wedges, forces, whatever they seem to roll, we gotta find 28 of them bad boys. And we found procedurally generated waterfall.
Yeah, that's at Provoca. So, the big thing to keep in mind for the folks watching is anything that the top two runners see, the other top runner also presumably will find out, because, yeah, like I said, this is a 2v1 situation. So Darkmoon and Dwight are actually in a co-op setup at the moment. And they're working together to get to the Temple of Fiends first. But once they're both the Temple of Fiends, it's anyone's race. By which I mean at that point they're actually racing.
It's very, very interesting. Since they are working in a co-op fashion as well, if someone gets a key item, they'll also be able to share them between the two. So they will be working together. Shards are independent, so they'll each have to get their independent shards, but they will obviously be sharing information so that, they can kind of do it the best way. But it does make interesting strats because you're right, you are sharing key items, but at the end of the day, once you get your shards, you're racing everyone on the screen. So very interesting for them as well as us as spectators.
Yeah, well, the big thing I like about it is, normally in a co-op setup, you have a situation where, you have the one runner who's doing a lot of exploring and the other runner who is, grinding up to prepare for the Topher dive. But in this situation, neither one of these men is going to want to, be the one to grind because that means the other guy's getting all the shards. So. And that Ice 3 being put to work as Darkmoon finds a red dragon tile.
However, he doesn't manage victorious, which is good to see, getting level 6, and but has not hit the trap tile yet. So
yeah, no,
we'll
that was
see
just a
what that
random
is.
encounter. Nice.
Hopefully it isn't something too scary. Yesterday I participated in a co-op race, and the trap tile was our ankylos, and you already know they're gonna body you. So.
And I think that was a Brack +2 weapon.
It was a Brack +2 axe.
Yeah, Dwight backed out of it though, it looks like, so. But it doesn't look like it was that deep, so he may be contemplating, going back for that later.
However, Darkmoon did just pick up the canoe, so that's very, very good. And also, the thing that he's thinking about is once his partner gets the canoe, then obviously it's going to hit back to his server anyway. So it's kind of advantageous that he just did that.
So, yeah, that is one thing about co-op that, is really handy, is because the items kind of exist in this limbo state between the two partners. Once you pick up an item, you can just reset out because your partner now has it and can pass it back to you.
In so long as you make sure your partner gets it.
Yeah.
Don't reset before.
Yeah, don't reset immediately, but... Alright. So, one other flag that we have on is Astos Shuffle. So, one of these NPCs is not who they appear to be. So far, all the NPCs we've talked to were, in fact, who they were supposed to be, but Matoya may turn out to be the king of the Dark Elves, and that is Harmford and Viz 2, sitting at level 2 white magic.
I'll definitely take both of those.
Yeah. Let's see.
And lit 3.
Yeah. So, not a bad first two levels, honestly. Ice 3, Lit 3, Invis 2, that's a solid setup.
And life.
Along with life
heal
and
2
temper.
as well.
So...
You're right, and temper. Heal, you wish you had heal 3, but heal 2 does get the work in. You know what I mean? Especially around the mid-level. So it's a good enough setup for the first two, especially considering this is shuffled and they already found the first 2 slots of magic. You'd be surprised how long it takes to find proposals.
Oh, absolutely. Well, yeah, it's one of those things where, Provoke is at least easier to find than Elfland. Because the one problem with Elfland is, unless it has the vendor item, and you need that vendor item early, you're not getting that vendor item early. Or you're not getting to Elfland early, because it's more likely to... A seed with a late Elfland's a lot more likely to pass than a late any other town.
That is actually very true based on the logic.
Oh, that's a feature I haven't seen yet, is the, just, like, later game style, buy up a bunch of things at once.
Oh yeah, that's one of the coolest flags. So just being able to actually buy 99 of something, like, is awesome.
Speaking of awesome, Darkmoon just got the floater from Matoya.
That is great news. So you already know what's going on. I took the marker in a spreadsheet somewhere. I'm gonna go ahead, see where, get up out of here and get in the air immediately.
Yeah. So SpellzApp is going to want to pick a fight with the pirates soon, because that's the path that takes him to the floater, and the sooner he has that floater, the happier he's going to be, although he still needs to get down to that volcano floor to get his canoe.
That is true. However, he is actually at Provoker right now, which is good, so he will be getting towards progression that he needs.
Yeah. So, Darkmoon and Dwight are going to be airborne here in a minute, because they already have their canoe. Darkmoon is already in the perfect position to go for it. Let's see if he remembers that the swamp is the faster approach. And he does!
And he does! OG strat, y'all.
Unfortunately, the trolls are full of wrath.
Ouch. They are not playing today. However, his black mages emerge victorious.
Unfortunately, black mages can't cast life unless you have the shuffle spellbook flag on, so he's probably gonna need to go visit a clinic soon. But fortunately, that's gonna be real simple.
Because looks like we are already in the air 10 minutes and 30 seconds into the seed, so that's a good time.
Yeah, so the only thing that might work against Darkmoon and Dwight is if, you know, their newfound liberty sends them off on a completely different adventure. Like, SpellzApp just found Canaria at the cave with the stuff.
And he just picked up the crown in the cube.
Marsh Cave. That's what I was trying to remember the phrase for.
Now, because they're in a co-op mode, I'm gonna expect them to start covering ground between them. And one of them will probably find a deep dungeon. The other will probably, clean up various places as they go. That's what I would presume. Because you've just got to cover more ground between the two in order to make sure that you keep the advantage on SpellzApp. You would imagine, being a co-op team, that you have the advantage up to a certain time limit. Then you might start feeling pressure. But for the first 30 minutes, if you work as a team, I wouldn't feel pressured about anything SpellzApp's doing, to be honest. Yeah.
Now, it's one of those things, though, where it's very easy for things to fall through the cracks as well. I don't know what kind of...
Super true.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of rapport these two have. So, well, it looks like Darkmoon's heading to the swamp cave, so my speculation is a moot point. But, my point being, I could have sworn that Temple of Fiends was at the Elfland area. Maybe it was up at Dwarf Cave? Because SpellzApp definitely found Temple of Fiends.
He definitely did.
Yeah, because he already talked to the princess, but, well, eventually these two are going to find the Temple of Fiends, or it might have been that Dwight found it and Darkmoon didn't fight that, because I do not believe that flags are shared between partners. Okay, thank you, Dank. So Dwight found the Temple of Fiends for their team, and Darkmoon just hasn't been there yet.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's what I thought was going on once I thought about it for a moment. Okay, so it was Dwarf Cave. Dwight,
Like
forgetting that
Garland.
dead ends are not part of the shuffle.
That is true. Even I tend to do that every now and again. You'd be like, oh man, in the heat in the moment.
See, I would just forget that because I like to turn on the full shuffle, complete with the dead ends. Because there's nothing more fun than doing a 10-floor dungeon dive, and at the bottom you just find a room with a dragon in
it. And you don't have exit to get out? The greatest scenario.
That's called resetting, Duchess. That's called you just reset all of that crap out and move on with your life. You can get that experience back later.
But if you found Ribbo 4 on the 7th floor, it's a heartbreaker.
I'll live.
Looks like we found Melman.
Alright. Dr. Oon is Dr. Oon.
Alright, that's good to know.
Alright, SpellzApp has his canoe. Now, SpellzApp's other big handicap is he has to walk this out.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it's not terribly deep, but I mean, he's still got to get past these trap tiles.
Yeah. So, Zap, I have to assume his big priority is going to be finding Elfland, because he needs exit or warp way more than these two do, and Elfland's really his best shot to get an easily accessible exit or warp.
Ooh, as we find level 5 nuke and also level 5 warp in Melman. So he's gonna actually want to at least go and find Melman, which seems accessible. So it's a Cardia Isle.
Yeah, that's Bahamut's cave too, so...
Yep. So thankfully he will find that, along with that level 5 nuke, and we will also see what the slab is as well in just a moment. This might actually lead to a dud item. Nope, a bottle, and we do know where Gaia is, so that is more progression for the top two.
Yep. I reckon that Dwight is probably going to continue to follow the item chain. Question chat, can ninjas learn level 5 black magic? No. No, they cannot.
No. Unless you've got that crazy spell swapping flag on, which is actually super fun.
Yeah. But, yeah, unfortunately, the mysteries of level 5 magic are beyond even the mightiest of vanilla ninjas.
Which is, to be fair, I mean, if you're going to give them katanas as well, like, you know, all that crit rate, you can't also be giving them god spells.
So, Darkmoon, for his part, I think his white mage might be a little bit narcoleptic, because every time I look up there, Wrath is on the ground.
I mean, look, we've already accomplished level 1 life, and until we see, you know, maybe tier 4 at level 4 or something like that, there really is no reason to keep it up getting levels, right? At this point, it's not doing anything. And we don't have significantly good item magic yet, where it should stay up like, oh, we've got a nuke gauntlet that it can just blast.
Well, we won't be seeing a nuke gauntlet tonight anyway. One of the other alpha flags that we've got on is, let me remember the exact name, and by remember I mean look, is Balanced Shuffle, which basically prevents a lot of the strongest spells from landing on items. So we won't be seeing any nuke items tonight. We won't be seeing any Fade items tonight, and Dang couldn't remember any of the rest of the list, so he couldn't tell me what else was not on there.
Fair enough. So probably no Lit 3, no Ice 3 as well. But we did just pick up a Rouge 2 staff, so...
Yeah. Well, he did think that the level 3 elemental magic is in there. Cyrinus in chat thinking Fast might be on that list, so...
That would be handy, Daddy.
But yeah, Darkmoon did manage to dig a Ruse staff out of that Sky 2 floor. From the looks of it, so...
Yep. As Dark realizes he still don't have enough monies to go buy the herb, so we'll keep on trekking.
Yeah. I imagine they're going to want to keep their white mage up, Darkmoon and Dwight, just because that life cast is still potentially useful as long as the white mage isn't the one who needs it.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Dwight going to go figure out what the fairy is hiding.
So far, it's been nothing but progression.
No, one of these times it's going to turn out to be the King of the Dark Elves, so I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that's going to be somewhere utterly inappropriate.
Because here it's kind of, lukewarm. Oh, I get bodied, but it's not a big deal. But, well, you received the bigs.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, that bigs is still a bigs deal. Especially
That's
with
true.
the XP scaling flag that we've got on, which basically is plus 100% for every 8 shards collected. So we're starting at 2.8x, and if I recall correctly, that's going to bump us up to, what, 3.8x XP in gold?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so...
That's a big deal. But in saying that, I mean, collectively, I think we've seen maybe, 3 or 4 bigs so far, and we haven't seen any of the themes yet. So, while we are finding, progression items, so to speak, we still haven't found shards. And I haven't seen anything that looks terribly deep yet with a bunch of dungeons. We haven't seen armory floor greater than, less than, or anything like that, so.
Yeah, I think Sky 2, where Darkmoon was, is the densest we've seen. So, SpellzApp, meanwhile, about 10 minutes behind Dwight and Darkmoon and getting airborne.
Spell was flexing. He was like, oh yeah, y'all can already be on the world map, and I'm gonna flex on the starting screen, and I don't know, he's 10 minutes behind. At least in terms of getting that floater. That's not to say that's behind.
Yeah, no, like, it's one of those things, the big advantage honestly, one of the advantages he has is he has to walk stuff out. I haven't had a chance to glance at his levels for the last little bit, but I have a sense he probably has a little more XP on his party, and he opted for a red mage instead of a white mage, and also brought a thief.
That's very true, actually, because he knows he has to depend on himself. You have to complete things. As we find Elflin.
Yeah, and I see Saber right away. I didn't catch what else was at level 3, but
I think I saw Fire 3.
Yeah, I definitely saw something start with an F, so that was either a fire spell or fast.
Heal 3. Definitely will take Heal 3 in the second slot.
And Life 2, but I think...
There we go.
Yeah, I think that's Red Wizard learnable. Okay, there's Fire 3, Quake.
That's Fire 3, so it was Fire 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have definitely picked up Lock as well. Lock, I think, is more important in this case than maybe a Cake and a Zap.
Yeah, Lock and Lock 2 are two of my, like, must-pick-up spells.
It's interesting in that with these item crafter flags, you tend to I find more often than not a lock item, but you don't ever want to rely on a lock item or finding the lock item.
Hey, and here, okay, Fade is at level 6 white magic, so that's Red Wizard accessible. I think it was in like slot 2 or 3.
Yeah, it was slot 2, and it didn't look like anything great in black magic. Maybe slow 2 if you're into that, but
slow 2 has its uses. So
it does.
Yeah, so I'm already noticing SpellzApp checking a few places that Darkmoon and Dwight haven't ventured into yet. They've kind of faded the Melman continent for the moment.
I mean, I understand that Spell has to kind of, duck in and out of every place. And if it's a dungeon, maybe go 1 or 2 floors down and then try to get back out, take some notes. Because when you have a general overlay of the entire map, then you can start saying, all right, I'm going to attack this dungeon, I'm going to attack this dungeon, where the top two, all they need to do is just focus on synergy. You just focus on getting all those dungeons out of the way, even if you bang your head against one, and I'm just going to, check various spots. So you're right, it is actually interesting in that Spell does have that advantage. You might even find a grind tile or two before these guys.
Yeah. And it's also one of those things where, and I was kind of alluding to this when they first got airborne, it's very easy to stumble into a paradox of choice if you get that airship right away. Because you just have so many places you can go. I know I have the bad habit, actually, of forgetting about Sarda if I get an early airship. So Zap, meanwhile, has found the Bridge of Destiny. I believe this is at the Earth Cave location.
Indeed, as Dwight has found the tail, actually. It looks like he's going to nope out, or nah, he wanted to make sure Dark got the tail, and then I guess he's going to make some more moves just in case he gets bodied.
Yeah, he may have skipped over this chest right up here, the Ich bin Maya Memorial Trap Tile. Okay, Exit and Warp are both level 5, I see. So... yeah. Not the worst situation to be in for these runners.
It isn't.
Yeah.
So 10k for Warp.
It's worth it, though.
Oh, definitely. Especially when you're in ice.
Yeah, I think Darkmoon ran back to get Warp because he did come across Castle of Ordeals. And I think he's wanting to go ahead and tackle that Pillar Maze.
Looks like Spell just found an ice -3 armor, so you kind of hate to see it. I mean, it'll give you the elemental for sure, but that chain +2 might have... Ooh, you just said, I'm getting rid of that chain +2.
Yeah.
I can't begrudge him for it, but I think the stat-wise, chain 2 probably has better absorb, but you need that elemental, so...
I want to say Ice Armor has like 32 absorb, 34 absorb. So I think it still has like a 10-point edge on Chain +2, even with the -2. But I'm sure someone in chat will immediately correct me.
No, you're probably right on the math.
Oh, hey Northwest Palace. They have the crown, so we should find out... Okay. So the kindly old king gives us...
Opal -3.
Yeah, a kind of crappy piece of jewelry, but, you know.
I'll take it. It's something.
Who's left at this point? We've talked to the robot, we've talked to the king and the princess, we've talked to I think Sarda might be our dark elf today.
That's true. We've already turned into adamant, correct? But we have not turned into...
Right, we haven't found the dwarves yet, so it could still be
I think we found dwarves. I think we found dwarves early. I don't know if we've turned into adamant, because I believe someone has, right?
Let me go check our notes from our lovely tracker and restreamer, Dangwu. And,
shout out.
Yeah, no, we have not... I do not believe we've seen the dwarves yet. Or if we have, someone did not bother to check it. What was up at Waterfall? Ah.
Armor's rolling like armor does, and these seeds just gross.
It's all worth it, though, for that occasional katana +5.
I mean, hey, you know, when you see him, you're super happy. Or the Masa +3. God, even the Pro Ring -3. It's just like,
Yeah. I do think we saw a Buckler +3, so that's something.
There you go.
Ah, there's
Buckler
Lock 2.
+3 and Copper 4s. Ooh, Lock 2. There you go.
Yeah, Lock 2 at level 6 black. Not very useful for your red wizard, but still convenient to have. So this is probably
Exactly.
a good opportunity to double check what the scaling is. So we've got enemies clamped at 200%, and then we've got the bosses clamped at 230 for stats and 350 for HP because, you know, I'm sure there's a good reason why they did that. Don't know why they would do that, but I'm sure there's a good reason.
Indeed. For the fans.
Yeah, I guess, for the culture. But, yeah, no, it's one of those things like 350 clamped HP is, I would consider that just on the threshold of, you know, whatever happens to you, you did this to yourself.
Pretty
Slash,
much.
oh, I see that you intended to only use instant kills this seed. But, it's neither here nor there.
Got some Gurmaduces. Let's see. Too bad we don't have Fire 3 to blast on, unfortunately.
I mean, if Dwight had picked up Fire 2, that would have done the job.
It definitely would have.
And Lit 3
But I
at
fall
least...
into it.
Yeah, a pair of
Got
Lit
him.
3s for SpellzApp did the job.
Excellent. And the key, that is great, because that's one item, especially in co-op, because you're finding all these various places, and you know, it's good to find the key so that when you just get to a random castle, you can just check all those extra boxes.
Yeah.
And where he is right now, he can also check more boxes as well.
Well,
with
more
the key,
important,
which is awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say, more importantly, as our tracker pointed out, Gurmadusa's worthy trap tile there at the key chest. So that's presumably why Darkmoon. Yeah, I think Darkmoon actually stopped to take note of that when Dwight first hit that encounter.
And that's only 2 floors in from Waterfall. That's definitely a grindable tile.
Yeah,
you get 8 of those.
That's a little far afield, I feel like, but at the same time, if you don't find something better, that's still accessible enough.
It's only 200-ish. It's not even 200 steps, I don't think, from entering the waterfall, and you've got exit as well. And houses aren't expensive, so it's one of those things like just take note if you can't find a more accessible grind tile. But they have the keys. They might find, you know, a super good grind tile, I'll say.
Yeah. So Dangwoo arguing that he would have just ditched that key if he were Dwight. Like, I guess not wait for it to pass to Darkmoon. And just tell him it's a dud.
I'm a proponent of the key. Oh, you're talking about actually for strategy purposes. Ooh,
yeah.
Being sneaky.
Yeah, that's something that
I can actually understand that.
Yeah, that's something that like is kind of tricky to like work out, because I don't think we've really done a lot of this competitive co-op environment where on the one hand you need your opponent to like do good things, or your partner to do good things, but on the other hand you also want to make sure that they have limited access to things.
That's true. You don't want them to win. You want to win. So.
Yeah. So it's kind of tricky because you have to progress, but you have to restrict how much progression your opponent's getting. So it's a meta I think we're going to see fill out a bit more in the months to come, especially once a lot of people get their taste of co-op with the tournament coming. Or going.
Yeah, I'm actually in the co-op tournament. I took an L yesterday, unfortunately, but I'll be back to get a W soon.
All right, and there's level 7 fast.
Not the greatest, but I mean, you have 2 black mages, so I mean, you will hopefully get enough cast. And there's only 1 knight, so it's not like, you know, you're fasting up a black belt and also a knight.
Yeah, and I mean, it's
you
also
don't like
one
to
of those.
See it level 7.
it's also one of those things with the XP they're going to be getting by the end of this. They're going to be able to hit that. Like, they're going to have a black magic caster. SpellzApp had a little bit more of a disadvantage because, unfortunately, that is not going to be Red Wizard learnable. Red Wizards get that first slot in Onrak's White Magic shop.
That's true. Interesting, though, we do see SpellzApp with 6 bigs, so he will be close to getting that 100% boost pretty soon.
Yeah, and that...
Selling off the Brack and Hammer.
Yeah, that 3.8 times growth, I mean, 3 times growth is already considered to be ridiculous XP gain.
Ridiculous. But nearly 4 times? That makes grinding so easy. That takes like a 15-minute grind down to maybe 6 minutes. And you can have your party up. That's the thing. Unlike having to just siphon it into one character at nearly 4x, you can still say, nah, 3 people up is fine, because everyone's going to get a ton of EXP.
Oh, absolutely. I think Dwight is actually coming back either to check these key-locked chests here in Marsh Bottom, or he might be looking to punch some Gurmaduces in the face.
Not a bad play either way.
Biggs just got that 8th big. 2 bigs
there
in
we
one
go.
row here in Earth 4.
So that's actually really good for Spell.
And a +1 katana.
Nice! I have not seen a plus katana in weeks. I'm not joking.
He immediately brings that thief back on his feet.
He was like, you immediately have value now. Get up.
Yeah, he hasn't found the tail yet, but we know that that tail is going to be in his path once he finds the vampire cave. So...
That is true.
Yeah, like, he doesn't know that yet, but yeah, it is the right call to go ahead and get levels on that thief so that he can survive and swing that katana. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I think I'm about to say the same thing you are. Just like we're 35 minutes in, and this is where I think it's starting to get interesting, and where everyone's pseudo starting to play to their advantage, even though, as we know, Dwight and Dark are working together.
Now that's what I was going to say. What's interesting about it is, like, in spite of the handicap, I don't feel like Zap is at a huge disadvantage.
Especially not with that Ice 3 sword you just picked up.
Yeah, because, like, he doesn't have the information sharing that Darkmoon and Dwight have, but he is being far more efficient in clearing out these spaces. And here's Sarda. So, are you the Dark Elf today?
I would say process of elimination.
Alright, we have forgotten one NPC, because it was not Sarda.
Oh! Touche.
And also... Yeah, wait. Yeah, I think you're right. So we might have to fight Astos for a class change. Is that how that works? Oh, I guess it could be the Elf Prince and the Elf Doctor.
It could be the Elf Prince and the Elf Doctor. You're right, actually. So, let's not jump to conclusions. Though I would love to actually see Bahamut come out and just body you with nuclear and be like, oh, you want the tail of a rat, huh?
I mean, I'm completely in for, incorrect dang. SpellzApp did pick up the herb earlier. He sold off,
that Opal 3.
Was it the Opal 3? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
like
yeah, he sold it off, picked it up, and, yeah, he's toting that herb around. Come on, Tracker.
You got the finger snapping and everything. It's good to have you in the booth, whoa.
Yeah. Look, Dang has one job, and that job is to be harassed by me for not doing his one job. This is how our friendship works, Duchess.
Exactly. And this is why everyone should join the FF1 randomizer community, because if you don't do your job, we will verbally abuse you while everyone listens.
We don't tell them that part.
Whoops.
Anyway, so SpellzApp has located the vampire chest, so he is going to be picking up this Earth Incentive and getting his tail.
And
Not
he's
that we have
also
any
got
idea.
the.
Go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off. He also picked up a Fire 3 gauntlet, so that's great. That's something good for him to have no matter what, like a Fire 3, just something to blast off elemental magic, especially it being Fire 3. That's
Oh
nice.
yeah, and when he
Put
does
that
get
on your
around,
beef.
when he does get around to picking up that key, he's really gonna like having that.
You're right, because then he can just grind all day long on those Germaduces.
Yeah. So that is actually something else that's working to SpellzApp's advantage, because with Darkmoon and Dwight splitting up the world, they're only finding a portion of the bigs that their opponent slash partner's finding. Whereas SpellzApp, every bigs he finds, every place he goes, he's getting to keep all the bigs. And yeah,
That's the trouble.
Go ahead.
No, that's the trouble I find I run into when I'm doing co-op. Because I like to be the one that's going to frivolous places and getting more information. Somebody else, my partner might be grinding up, and then I've got to go and basically look at the spreadsheet and figure out where all the shards are. Whereas, like you're saying, SpellzApp's got to do it all by himself. So not only is he working everything out efficiently in terms of finding where things are on the world map, but he's also getting these bigs in an extremely efficient way as well.
Yeah. So yeah, he has gotten that tail. I do not believe he has seen Bahamut either, but he is working very cleanly around the map. I'm thinking that Bahamut's probably I think he might be he's got to be at Mirage Tower or under Onrak or the Vampire Chest, I think.
Yeah, it would probably be, yeah, you're right. It would be those three as we see ice. So that's pretty cool. But yeah,
Gold
it would definitely
bracelets
have to be,
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just repeating what you said.
Yeah, gold bracelets at +1. That's nice.
Yes. And an opal. Vanilla, but still. When everything else is minus, you'll take what you can get.
I do not believe we've seen any ribbons yet this seed either. Yeah, SpellzApp and Dwight both diving down into the ice cave.
It's got to be done. There's another exit.
It doesn't. You can just not do ice. That's an option.
You can for sure, but you're gonna miss out on some information. So.
Okay, there were 2 bigs in ice. Never mind. Oh, Dwight just leaves immediately.
I mean, when you're rocking 3 bigs, 40 minutes in, I'm leaving too, because yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That seems like a bit risky. It's leaving 7 chests behind, because he didn't open the last 2 chests in the 6 chest room, and then there's the 5 chests on the floor leading to the exit.
That is true, actually.
I mean, I'd at least, I don't know, I think if you've already gone deep enough into ice to check the 6 chest room, if you have the juice in the tank to finish out ice, you finish out ice, because if there was, say, a Mazza down there, and, you would have had to force, you keep that little bit of information to yourself, and Darkmoon never touches ice, it could be the difference maker.
But he was only down to his black mages, so I can understand that.
Okay, I didn't catch that he was down to his black mages. That makes sense then. So the question is, does he go back to ice, or does he say, you know what, I need to keep moving. I still need to get my Bigses that I can get into the dungeon because Darkmoon's already at 10.
Yeah, you got to keep moving, unfortunately. You want to go back to ice because you know you're leaving those chests behind, but right now they still don't have the ruby, the TNT. They've got some things that they need to get, the chime. So because they are still in the co-op mode, you have to kind of just keep going. Because anything you keep banging your head against, potentially like SpellzApp is doing, he's clearing it out. And so you're just going to lose time. Whereas if you're working together constantly, you can negate some of that time if you manage to pick up a key item or another route.
Yeah, that was a -4 dragon armor that Darkmoon just dug up. And holy crap! I think there were 3 more, there were like 2 more Bigses in ice.
Yes, there were.
And Darkmoon,
So
I
he's
think,
missing
found,
out on lots of Bigses.
Yeah, Darkmoon found 2 Bigses in greater than less than, which is located in Gaia. But Dwight is going to at least grab those, so...
I mean, the good thing is if, as long as Darkmoon is being, I guess, sharing the information, Dwight will know where to get shards. But again, he might not be telling them where shards are. He might just say, you're getting this key item.
Yeah. So this is something I'm kind of drawing a blank on. Maybe you can help me through this, Duchess. When the goal is exactly 28, are there any extra shards lying around?
Actually, yes, there are extra shards. I don't know how many, but because fiends count for shards as well, you can skip a fiend sometime. You might find more shards in boxes, and so you end up only beating 2 of the fiends versus defeating all of the fiends. So it is actually a question of strategy, because you might say only have 8 shards left, and you know the location of 3 fiends. Tia and Kraken give 4, and Lich and Carry give 2 orbs each. So that's something to consider.
Yeah. So yeah, that probably missing those 3 shards, which Shadowed Flames, I believe, is correcting us in chat, was how many SpellzApp picked up down there. May be fine, like, not having that knowledge. But, it was just one of those things where if Darkmoon and Dwight needed those 3, Dwight not being able to check those chests could wind up biting them both.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you don't want to miss out on a dungeon with 5 shards regardless, so...
Yeah, so, I mean, it's one of those things, yeah, if Dwight let Darkmoon know that he found those bigs down in ice, Darkmoon may wind up finding all of them down there, and, oh, lobsters have crack.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's unpleasant.
Seafood pelleting out crack. You never want to see it. Streets aren't safe, y'all.
I mean, are lobsters ever trustworthy in this game?
Nope.
Alright, Darkmoon finds the Hall of Bahamut, so are we fighting for glory today?
I would hope so. Come out and thunder him, please, for the people.
Darkmoon taking his...
process of
There it is!
Yep.
And Dwight finds a Vorpal sword.
Ooh.
I see
Was it
you're
vanilla?
Team Vorpal. It looks like it's just a plain Vorpal.
To be completely honest, my favorite sword is Masa, just because you could throw it on anyone, no matter what. But I do love the Vorpal. You get it, I love it.
Yeah, I'm kind of a team whatever I can put on my people, personally. But, alright, so SpellzApp finally finds that key and that Germedusa tile, and he is immediately going to go check the 3 down here. Did we actually see Dwight check these rooms? I feel like he was...
We did not see Dwight check these at all. We didn't.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think he was kind of in dire straits when he got the key as well.
He was, so he decided to just dip out of the dungeon. Because I believe after that, then he went to go buy warp and whatnot. So.
Alright, so let's find out where Bahamut was, because I wasn't paying it. Okay, so it's at the bottom of that dungeon in Gaia, so...
Okay.
Yeah. So not the most obvious spot to head to, but definitely a location you're going to check.
Definitely.
And I believe that's also... Yeah, it was also where greater than less than was, so... That's a dungeon location SpellzApp is almost certainly going to check, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Darkmoon and Dwight, in spite of getting off to a pretty good start, I don't know, I feel like SpellzApp still kind of has an edge right now.
I have to
definitely...
agree with you.
Yeah. Like, he's definitely got an XP advantage. Because, yeah, you just saw that. His party's already in the 20s. Darkmoon's still sitting around 15, and I think Dwight is in a similar boat.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, SpellzApp is having to check everything that both of them are checking, but he's checking it way faster, and that's a hold hammer. Not what you want
You're
to see.
right. It's not what you want to see, but I mean, you've already got a Brack hammer, so. No, you're right, though. I mean, SpellzApp has been doing this extremely efficiently. And so, I mean, you're right. That early lead that they both have is kind of evaporated. That's not to say that they can't come back and one of them can't pull this out, of course. There's still a bunch of time left, but you've already got 13 shards. And I mean, to be honest, there isn't anything that SpellzApp has that the others don't. He's even got the chime, and they don't have the chime yet, so he's sitting in a great position.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember where Sarda was now. Because I think that's who he got the... Well, hold on. Dang's been keeping note. Important. I have no idea where Sarda was, but he was buried somewhere.
And he did have the chime.
Yeah, so... Alright, so SpellzApp, going ahead and hitting it greater than less than. He's up to 15 bigs. Gonna save those, head back in. So he's gonna get class promoted soon, and that's gonna give him a katana-wielding ninja.
Yes, it is, which is going to be excellent. Now, one thing I'm going to want to do, no matter what, I'm definitely going to want to find at least a ribbon. Probably two, to be honest, but at some point, I'm going to start checking chests for ribbons. Because the big situation right now, that's 8, 10. I mean, honestly, especially if we start finding fiends, the big situation is gonna take care of itself, especially for SpellzApp and Darkmoon sitting at 14 and 15, because they will probably open up enough chests. If SpellzApp opens 3 more, then he finds all 4 fiends and bodies them. That's his bigs right there. So
yeah, Darkmoon just found the chime. And yeah, I think at this point, ribbons pretty much have to be in volcano rooms.
Ooh, you're right.
Because we haven't seen Agama Floor, and we haven't seen Armory.
That's true.
I guess Mermaid's also on the table.
You're right. Ooh, some steak.
Yeah.
Darkmoon's not a fan of steak today.
Okay. So, wow. Okay, 2 bigs in Mirage so far,
and 2 bigs in that Cardi as well.
Well, this is Mirage. I couldn't remember the name of the actual room, so I just went with Mirage. Because
Oh
I'm
yeah, I'd be
good
doing
at
that too.
this. But yeah, so that chime leading to 2 more Biggses. But yeah, what I was gonna jump back and say, I don't know if Darkmoon or Dwight know where Tiamat is, but SpellzApp definitely does.
That's right. We saw Tia very early on his side. So, oh, did we just find a TNT or was that a tent? No, that
I
was
think that was a tent. I'm sure that Dang will, Okay, thank you, Dang. Alright, Dang dropped the knowledge bomb that there are no loose in this, so... Alright, Darkmoon heading into Ice, with class promotion in the tank, he's got a much better shot of actually getting through Ice and finding those other Biggses. So that's going to put him in a very strong position.
Indeed. He's already sitting at, what, 4.8 now?
Yeah. You're right. So he's going to be able to close this experience gap against SpellzApp.
And Dwight has done some exploration and gotten 11 bigs. And he's also picked up that Fire 3 Gauntlet, which is good for him as well. So, and I believe he knows where the Gauntlet for Tyler is. So that's been the most grindable spot I've seen so far.
Yeah, I'm apt to agree. Alright, SpellzApp about to take on the kindly old dragon. And by take on the kindly old dragon, I mean Astos is about to die.
Thankfully, you do actually level up before you see that.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't really do too much with it, with being promoted.
And we can already see that 350 clamp coming into play as Astos had north of, what, 600 HP?
Something like that. But yeah, alright. SpellzApp has class promoted, he has strapped that katana onto his ninja, and well, katana's not what I normally think of as aerodynamic. That thing is basically a rocket strapped to that ninja. Especially once he goes in here and picks up these Biggses and is going to be able to reopen that XP gap with Darkmoon.
Yep, absolutely. Boom, and now he's well on his way with 17 Biggses.
Okay, so we also do have I think that's the Brack Sword, that's the defense today, and that's a +5 weapon, I missed that, so...
Yeah, it was a +5 stun.
Okay, stun, so... Yeah, that is a solid pair of weapons, so yeah, Zap really only needs, like, a ribbon or 2.
Yep. And it's the question of, do you throw it on your... Well, actually, life is learnable by the knight in the slot, in the siege.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I think you throw the ribbon on your knight until you get to chaos. And then I would consider swapping it over to the ninja. Maybe.
Correct.
Because, I mean, a defense +5, that'll get the job done.
It definitely will.
Meanwhile, Dangwoo pointing out, Dwight bought the herb, waited until Darkmoon had the herb, and then reset out so he got to keep his money.
The veteran strat, y'all.
And SpellzApp is making a beeline for Kraken. And
at this point, why wouldn't
yeah, no, I agree with this, and I think we are going to see him immediately go for Tiamat after this. Just go ahead and, get a cool 8 shards, get himself up to 25, only need to go hunt down 3 more.
That's the way you do it,
Yeah. No, I mean, it's one of those things, he's already got the key and the loot, he just needs to be able to, get down deep into the dungeon.
correct. And then there'll probably be a moment where he'll consider where his levels are at and whether he wants to do some final grinding.
Yeah. Darkmoon, meanwhile, is now at 20 bigs, so... Or 21 bigs, so... If He's probably also going to come after this Kraken. I believe he also knows its location.
Mm-hmm.
So... Again, I don't know where that Tiamat was.
I don't remember. But we do see Kraken.
Mm-hmm. 2 nukes, 2 swings, and Kraken throws out ink.
Well, there you go. The no respect strats were definitely warranted. I have a little bit of absorb though.
Yeah, definitely is rocking some absorb. That was a combined 130, it looked like, from the melee.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of evade too.
Yeah, you might want to throw a lock out there.
He's gonna go for the Brack strats.
Why not?
And there's Thunder.
Low roll Thunder, so not that big of a deal.
Well, someone in the booth was pulling for Thunder in the first place.
I was hoping. I was hoping another one of our friends came out with the almighty Thunder, but
I think you were pulling for Astos, but you know, you have to take what you can get.
Exactly. As SpellzApp makes his way to 21 bigses, so 3 away from a glorious 5.8 or something ridiculous. And you can see with that 319k.
You know, just a little bit of change, just some pocket money to get you through the day.
Exactly.
Alright, going back to get life on that knight. Probably also going to pick up temper on the ninja.
I would have also picked up heal too, to be honest.
I mean, any situation where heal 2... yeah, no, it's one of those things, any situation where you want to cast that heal 2, that heal 2 is not doing enough to be worth giving up that life cast. And we found a ribbon, and they're +1 today.
There we go, so plus ribbons.
Now, Zap does know where Canaria Castle is, but is he going to bother checking those chests?
If I'm Zap, I have to find a ribbon. That's just me. He's a much better player than I am, so, but I'm not going into a Topher without a ribbon. At least one. Yeah.
I would be tempted to grab that A-Rub out of, Crescent.
A-Rub.
Well, just knowing that those lobsters are packing crack, and I have to get through Waterfloor and Topher, that would be enough for me to go, you know, I'm probably going to spend all of these on fades, but... well...
just in case.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, if you're able to get that cast off, you might as well just fade them, because they're lobsters. Even with 200, they'll go down to a fade. So, never mind. This is why Zap is way better at the game than I am. I don't know, I think I still would have picked up A-Rub, though. Not necessarily for just the lobsters, but just in general.
I like your thought process behind it.
Well, yeah, it's just one of those things, we're back at Temple of Fiends. Or not Temple of Fiends, Castle for Deals. Did anyone ever actually come up here?
I don't think so.
Yeah, like, I think Darkmoon came here, got left, went and got Warp, and then just never returned.
Came back. I would also check the chest too. Why not?
Yeah, the spike. I like to check that spike tile, especially when spike tile shuffle is on. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, to answer the question, chat, Darkmoon is almost certainly intentionally grinding at this point.
Definitely. Wonder if does he have the fire through gauntlet? Yes, he does. Just used it.
And yeah, he is definitely at LOL EXP level.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that
That's an
sorcerer
easy
formation is unrunnable. That could also come up in Temple of Fiends, although it doesn't look like the sorcerers have anything nasty today.
Nah, thank God they don't have anything death touch or anything like that.
Actually, I think that sorcerer formation might share the sorcerer formation on the Bridge of Destiny.
Hmm.
Because it's the sorcerer formation in Ice Cave that shares its slot with the sorcerer formation in Temple of Fiends, and then I think this sorcerer formation shares the slot with the Mudgol sorcerer formation on the Bridge of Destiny. I think that's how that goes.
Good encounter knowledge.
Zap getting that
Ooh, got the
Oxyale.
Oxyale. Look at that progression.
Just trying to think.
He's doing super well, and I mean, look at those levels. I mean, CC would be so proud of him. The walking grind is real, y'all.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's got to do a walking grind in this situation. All right, he's gonna find that ribbon here in Canaria.
Yep. Yeah, and if you have one ribbon, especially with a knight that can cast life, I feel confident at this point. Yeah, it'll be great to get another one, but all I need is one. Fear 5 shirt. That's the equivalent of your black shirt, correct? Or is that your white shirt?
I don't think I'm not sure which one it is. I don't think we've seen anyone check it. Alright, it's the white shirt.
Ah, okay.
So, not of much use to Zap, but, so, he's at 24 bigs. He knows where Tiamat is.
Yep.
So, I feel like this is the point where he goes to Tiamat.
Pretty much, and he's also at the EXP curve as well, where he'll cap out, the most EXP from the bigs that he's gonna get. So go ahead and crush Tia real quick. And then if he needs to do any grinding, you know what the Girl Medusa tile is.
So here's the question. We're at 2.3 times boss stats. Oh wait, Warmech's required. Never mind.
Nice.
That's why Darkmoon's grinding.
That's actually, and you know what? If I'm Spell, I'm definitely gonna do this. Because I need to test it out. Because if I can just body it now, then that's great information, right? But even if you can't, then you know what you gotta do. So.
I mean, also just the simple fact that like, how much XP is he about to get from this Warmech if he dies?
Oh my gosh, you're right. He's gonna get like, can you even put that many numbers up on the screen? Does it even register that much EXP?
I mean, if the game crashes, we'll know. Warmech burns out one of our nuclears. That's nice.
Alright. That is nice.
Dang taking the brunt of the fight on behalf of the rest of the party, as is tradition.
Mm-hmm.
But Warmech not having a lot of hits. And it goes down. I think it was probably, what, a 2,500 XP?
Nice. Yeah, that's extremely doable.
2,900 HP,
oh my God.
Whatever.
That was a supreme amount of EXP.
Yeah, so...
Is Warmech unleashed anywhere? Or that's not part of the flag today?
Yeah, no, that's not going to be an option if Warmech required is on, I believe. But, more importantly, so Darkmoon probably spent about 5 minutes there grinding. SpellzApp basically caught up to him just by fighting Warmech.
Yep. Now, And also, Darkmoon only has 21 bigs, where Spell has 24, so he's not going to get as much EXP as well. So that makes a difference.
Yep.
And as you can see, even fighting a Fiend at this point nets you 5,600 EXP. So
yeah. And yeah, as our screen says, SpellzApp's in go mode. He probably is just going to stop, pick up some heal potions, and then go ahead and go try to finish this out.
Indeed. So it looks like our TNT and Ruby were not required. However, I'm going to probably think maybe one of our ribbons is hiding behind maybe one of the keylock chests and dwarves. There's a number of chests there. We still have not seen armory. We still have not seen volcano armory at all.
Yeah, I think Agama Floor, Mermaids, and Armory have to be behind that Oxyale. Or the Rod. Like,
that's true.
Probably what it is the Ruby is... Let me see what our remaining incentive locations are. Okay.
Ruby will probably lead to Rod.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is Ruby leads to Rod. Rod gets you, down
Ooh, another ribbon. Did you see that? Another ribbon in Topher.
That is incredibly fortuitous for SpellzApp. That is precisely what he needed to potentially put this out of reach if Topher is forgiving.
Yep.
And he's gonna go ahead and check these last two boxes.
I would too. And you know what? I'd even check validation at this point. Like, I feel great, and validation is only going to take 5 extra seconds.
Validation is one of those checks that it's always just like, if I've already got my menu where I like it, it's always dicey.
See, those are the strats that I want to pick up in my game plan. You know what I mean? Because, like, I know how to, like, cycle and counter tables and stuff like that, but, like, my menuing is crusty at best, and I never think, like, this is going to mess up my menuing. So that's where I'm just thinking, like, you're at alpha level, and I'm just sitting there at, amateur.
Oh no, it's just that I'm terrible at this game, so I have to, like, take into account every little thing I can do that might make it slightly better. But,
You say that, but we all know you're pretty good.
No, I'm not. I'm god-awful. My only recorded win ever is over Caleb, and that's because he's screwed up. But, yeah, SpellzApp already almost to the Phantom tile. Gonna go ahead and take this Wiz Vampire Zombie D encounter because, I mean...
Why not?
Yeah?
You're gonna get 13,000 from it easily, so... Probably more than that. And you feel really good about your charges, too. You're blasting off level 1, level 2s, and you're using that Fire 3 gauntlet.
Not even opening those boxes. But yeah, now, if I recall correctly, I know some folks who are really solid at menuing, like, they'll literally just, put on a TV show or a YouTube video and just sit there, like, just practicing the muscle memory to tap to any position on the bottom, like, 2 rows.
That's what I need to do.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it. Like, just because a lot of, like, high-level play just comes down to having the muscle memory to where you don't have to think about doing the thing that you're wanting to do. You just do it, and you're thinking about, like, your next 2 moves.
That's true.
Okay, so Dwarves was at the bottom of Oxyale.
It was. Let's see if they had any goodies for us today. I haven't seen what the the power bump would have been the fire 3, so TNT, lazy dwarves.
Yeah, but this is also a chance to check the Dwarven Armory.
It is, as we see Flitch get quaked. I love it.
I mean, you're on Dengwu's channel, you have to do it. And I'm commentating, so, you're also trying to annoy me.
But it actually worked first turn. That's amazing.
Yeah. No, I raced Dangwoo like 2 years ago, and he got a first turn Quake on a Lich 2 who had first turn Nuke.
Oh my god. I would be forever salty.
Yeah, no, you exactly. See, you get it. You get that my salt is unending.
It has to be. You don't just roll a first turn Quake into that. Like, what?
See, that's why Dangwoo gets to call them dang strats, because dang it. So I'm not sure why Darkmoon's heading over here. I don't remember what town is here. I think this is a town.
I think so too.
But I'm not sure what...
Carrie's got some individuals back road right now. But Carrie goes down, thankfully, which is good.
Where Darkmoon and Dwight found Temple of Fiends?
I don't know.
Oh no, he's getting fast. That's why he came all the way to on-rack.
Yeah, you need that.
I mean, you might.
He's only got a knife. He doesn't even have to use that fast.
Yeah, fair enough. And SpellzApp going pure offense as he just throws 3 tempers onto that defense +5 wielding knight, and holy evasion.
Yep.
And
we need some lock in our life.
Yeah, now the locks come out.
There we go. And ink free turn.
And that's a -60 evasion for that Kraken, so this will probably take care of business.
Now we can start doing some work.
And Dang gets tentacled in the face. It's fine, we'll pick him up in a minute. He probably won't even remember how he died. I mean, the concussion will make sure of that.
What happened? Don't worry about it, bro. Have a sip of this heal potion. You'll be alright.
I mean, I guess that's the question. If Kraken beats you to death, is that a concussion or is that CTE?
Ooh, that is actually a very good question.
I don't know, is that too dark? I feel like that might have been too dark.
Oh, no, it's like actually a very good question. We should ask Nasir one day. So, mate, when you were programming this, we just want to know.
So SpellzApp's already up to Tiamat 2. And
looking
Tiamat
pretty good
2
so far.
Immediately deletes the Black Mage.
Well, we got our tempers off, so that's something. We're gonna have to go and play the Abyss 2 game, because Tia is bodying people. Now, one thing I haven't seen all game is Cure 4. Don't want to see a Cure 4 Chaos or Tia, because that would be...
Your cruelty is only exceeded by your quality as a commentator.
I'm not suggesting it. I'm just saying we haven't seen it, so...
Okay, you know how this works. You're speaking it into existence.
No comment. As Darkmoon also is in Topher.
Yeah, he gets in about 6 minutes after SpellzApp does, so...
And, ooh, so he actually got past Tia, so that's looking good.
Yeah,
so... we're gonna be on our way to Chaos.
It's a tricky proposition that Darkmoon is in right now. Because he needs this Chaos to, like, kill SpellzApp, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But, any chaos that kills this party with the state that they're in, I'm
It's
not
definitely
sure.
Body and Darkmoon.
Yeah, I'm not sure Darkmoon's Knight and 3 mages will be able to deal with either.
Did he get the second ribbon? I don't think so.
I don't think he did. I think he went straight on in, so...
And that's something that's like, in retrospect, it's right there.
So, the Invis 2 spam comes out, so that's going to be 2 layers right there. Chaos drops a Lit 2, who cares? SpellzApp goes for the YOLO Brack.
Won't begrudge him for doing it. And that's interesting, though, because he's already gained some time on Darkmoon just by throwing out that first turn Quake on Lich.
And anyway, the Black Mage is dead. Rest in peace, Craig.
Black Mage did. He did what he was supposed to do. Getting our Invis 2 on. Alright.
Chaos going pretty solid absorb. Not the worst evade, but still noticeable.
Yes, it is. And I might be tempted with the Red Mage to start throwing out maybe some of that Ruse stick on. Ooh, Bane just went off. Ouch.
So at least we now know who has the
Rip.
ribbons.
Yep. Rip.
So, Dan and Danny working together to take this sucker down. Fortunately, Chaos does not seem to have much in the way of nastiness yet.
Indeed. You know, he's not getting through these Invis 2s all that bad. And the Elementals don't look too serious. We're getting some locks in. We've been tempering up. Wonder if he'll throw it fast out.
If he throws a Cure 4 out, SpellzApp might cry.
Ooh, Slow 2 just came out.
Did it
That
connect?
hurts.
My stream kind of skipped.
Me too.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
I'm not certain.
SpellzApp
GG
has,
SpellzApp.
yeah, he has brought Chaos down.
Wow.
With an official race bot time of 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 31 seconds.
Well, people, we have seen the power of flexing today. SpellzApp was like, you know what? I'm going to put the belt up. It's all good. It's like WWE. You can come in the ring. You can bring chairs. You can even have your tag team partners. But just like Reggie of Nintendo, my body is ready, and SpellzApp is just sitting there flexing. GG.
And already someone is calling out the champion down there in chat with Falconic. Just immediately calling SpellzApp out with a party of his choosing, which... I mean, I didn't realize that Falconic had a second form of racing.
Well, definitely awesome to see the champ is still the champ. But let's see if Darkmoon can take on this Kraken. And oh no, the White Mage is. Thankfully, we do have a Knight with life, so and 700 HP. As long as we've got some Invis 2 stacks out, we should be okay. Oh yeah, like Kraken isn't even hitting for anything. 6. Now the difference that SpellzApp and Darkmoon has is that Darkmoon does have access to that fast. So
Joining us here is the winner and still IronGol heavy metal champion, SpellzApp.
Hey,
GG.
That's a voice I haven't heard in a while. How's it going, Woat?
Going just fine. And that was, I believe, as Duchess has been putting it, quite a flex.
So how's our compatriots doing? How they?
Darkmoon got into tow for about 6 minutes behind you.
Okay.
And Dwight just broke his restream.
Maybe he must have pulled something up or done something, but
yeah, and Dwight still has 11 bigs to go.
how much did any of them try to betray, their teammates, or are they trying to?
As far as
We
I
don't know actually.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, it looks like they were mostly sharing useful information. Like, Darkmoon and Dwight both knew where to go for stuff. Like the grind tile, like that Gurmadusa tile, and Dwight knew where to look for bigs. So
Okay, because I given them a long list of things earlier today in Discord about, you know, a bunch of information they could use to or not use to give their partner to try and sneak into a little advantage here if they think they were gonna, you know, win the belt. Because whoever basically won was gonna get the belt. So
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting to see if anyone would use that information.
yeah, now the difference between them is Darkmoon did a lot more profitable deep dives, and Dwight had to bail on Ice Cave before he even finished checking the 6-chest room.
Yeah, there were quite a few in Ice Cave, I remember.
Yeah, he missed out on
there
like 3 of the bigs that were down there because he had to bail because he was down to 2 black mages.
I guess the centrifugal difference, and it was interesting because Woke called it out early, was being as though Dark and Dwight obviously had the co-op mindset, they could use some of that to their advantage. So in the beginning, they were getting a bit more of the key items. But you, SpellzApp, because you were only one person, you had to play more of the efficiency game where everything you did down to your menu presses and whatnot, you had to be efficient. So where they could split up some of the work, you decided to find where everything was, make sure if you went into a dungeon, I'm finishing this dungeon, so I'm not banging my head against it. And that actually was the centrifugal difference, which is why it looks like, you're almost potentially 5-6 minutes ahead of the next one done.
Yeah, and I think you nailed it. Where basically once I left a dungeon, it was pretty much off my radar. I know that there were a couple of places I left early because I wanted to get the key items to get out of the inner sea, but past that, I never revisited anything, at least for chests and that regard. So I was kind of hoping that they would have to double back on some places that the other person found, or maybe they didn't get enough levels because maybe they utilized the reset from the co-op server saving the item and resetting out, meaning they had a little bit less levels to work with. That's where I was kind of hoping where my advantage as a solo player would come in.
You're spot on.
About 6 minutes behind SpellzApp with an official race spot time of 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 11 seconds. And
GG.
there are Dwight and Darkmoon joining us now.
Yo.
GG, y'all.
GG, y'all.
Close enough.
I mean,
I have to thank SpellzApp for telling me nice time on that, because I got a little bogged down there at the end. I don't know if I could have made up the 6 minutes that I was behind, but I think if I hadn't had such trouble on Kraken's floor, could have been 4 minutes.
Yeah, so to kind of give you an idea, and I was going to mention SpellzApp as well. So about the time you were hitting level 16 Darkmoon, SpellzApp was already in the mid-20s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't find the right fights for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, you close the gap very quickly with that Gurmadusa grind.
Yeah.
But right when you were finishing that up and you hit your level 32s, Zap was killing Warmech and jumped up to the 30s with most of his party.
Yeah, if I'd had a ribbon anywhere along the path at all, I was just gonna go straight to Kraken. But I spent probably 5 minutes faffing around looking for a damn ribbon. So
also,
yeah.
Go ahead.
A thing I noticed as well also was that had you had 3 more orbs when you started grinding, when you did your Gurmadusa grind again, you actually would have, you knew that as well. But
I did.
That's the difference, because SpellzApp already had those 24 orbs, so he was sitting at that extra multiplier, and if you were sitting there, you would have had more levels than him. And then that might have actually taken more time.
Brack was level 7 with fast. I didn't have level 7 charges. If I'd had Brack anywhere along the path, I would have gone to Kraken way earlier, and I would have had a full complement of shards before I did my Gurmadusa grind. But again, you gotta take what you can get.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I do have some unfortunate news for you.
Yeah.
There was a ribbon in bottom right Temple of Fiends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I thought about going over there, but when Dwight said that there was a ribbon over at Corneria Castle while I was doing this, I was like, okay, I'm just going there. I'm gonna skip everything else. I only need one ribbon to win. And really, aside from Temper and Fast, my mages were doing jack squat anyway. So.
Yeah. So Dwight, how did you feel about all this?
I don't know, I just played bad the whole game.
No, you okay. So here's the thing. Darkmoon was getting lucky in where y'all were y'all were splitting it up. Like Darkmoon was getting lucky with all the places he was going, and you kind of kept drawing the short straw.
I was.
Like as I'm sure you both are aware.
Mm-hmm.
But that is actually a question that came up in chat. How much were y'all trying to like undermine each other in minor ways versus how much were y'all just like we need to work together to get to Topher as fast as we can?
Not
if
at all.
either of us
Yeah.
have a shot.
No, we weren't working against each other at all. Because SpellzApp, as you can see, is way too good a competitor. I think it was going to be straight co-op all the way through, and if we both hit Topher at the same time and one of us lost, like we were saying, it would be great if I win, but if I lost and he managed to beat through afterwards, I would have been totally happy with that. Just trying to get the W, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
and
looking back at it,
Dwight was huge support. I want to thank you so much for that, dude, because I think if you hadn't been there, this would have been a 140 for me at the minimum.
No, like that's the thing. Go ahead, Dwight.
Yeah, I gotta say, we were just 100% working together the whole time. There was no
You don't-
nothing. I told them where the Vorpal was. I
Yeah.
told them where the ribbon was because I was just looking for. I knew I was too far behind to do anything, so all I did was look for the equipment that Darkmoon was looking for.
Yeah, you don't beat SpellzApp working against each other.
Yeah, I know that Yang called out like, oh man, Dwight should have just told Darkmoon that the swamp chest was a dud and just immediately reset when he saw it was the key, and just gone back to that later.
Mm-hmm.
But that would have worked against you long term because I think multiple things were locked behind that key.
Yeah, just having those that ribbon there alone was what saved it, because one of the bosses in Topher had Crack or Bane or something, and I know I would have been baned down immediately if I hadn't had the ribbon for that. It's those instant death spells more than anything is what I was worried about.
So the Bane.
that's true.
Yeah. So I knew I had to have one ribbon. I knew I couldn't go into Topher without that one ribbon. There was no chance of it.
Yeah, SpellzApp, I honestly think that second ribbon probably saved that chaos fight for you.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so. A little bit. If Better Trap Tile Treasure is turned on, you gotta check Topher locked or Temple of Fiends locked. It's every time there's something in there that you can use.
Yeah. I didn't have key when I was at Topher, so otherwise it would have been like I would have just done the full square and done that check. But not having the key just kind of gimped that, you know. So
Yeah.
and
One thing I take away from this. Nah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
One thing I'm just taking away from this whole seed is just the power and like, I know it's the power of the walk and grind, you know, because that is actually what SpellzApp said earlier is the difference. I think the fact that in co-op you can quit out of something knowing that you're going to keep the item, you might forfeit 3 or 4 levels, but SpellzApp could not forfeit levels. The power of not sitting, he never sat and stationary grinded. Even when he found the Gurmadusa tile and he had the Fire 3 bracelet, he still was like, nah, the power of the walk and grind. If for anything, especially because I'm in co-op, I'm taking that away for sure. Because it's just so powerful seeing how you don't have to stay stationary, but you're still getting the levels.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I would have done more of that, but it was like, I think the dungeons I found were very shallow, and the enemies that I could kill when I was there just didn't provide that level of EXP.
Yeah, I don't think I actually saw any of the split.
No, I didn't.
I think
They were all
everything-
ordeals.
No.
I think everything was locked behind the rod
Okay.
Yep.
because, like,
Yeah.
Marsh Split and C Split were both in the Ordeals on-rack dungeon.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I gotta tell you, the second I realized that all 4 fiends appeared in the first half an hour of the game, as did Loot and Key and Bahamut and Tail, I was sitting there going, oh god, SpellzApp is gonna beat us by sub-hour.
Not to mention you were in the air in 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
know
yeah.
what I
No.
mean?
This was the jettiest of jet seeds. So
When did SpellzApp get in the air?
20 minutes.
yeah,
yeah, 20 minutes.
about twice as long because you had to go dip out each of them separately.
Yep.
Nah, dude, SpellzApp, solid.
We
win.
got a 10-minute head start
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
lost by 6 minutes.
No, that one laid out beautifully for I think everything, and like for this particular one, I think it was a good one just for all of it. Because I mean, I would have been felt bad if SpellzApp had to go back and forth across the world and dive through like 3 splits and everything. I mean, I would have taken the win, but
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't have felt bad. You'd be sitting here, yep,
I
we
feel a
bodied
little
you.
bad.
What's good, Spell?
I wouldn't have felt bad at all. I was the thing
Exactly.
I would not have felt
I
bad
like
at all.
SpellzApp though.
I would've gloated. I like SpellzApp too, but I'm a gloat if I win. That's just how it goes.
Nah, GG SpellzApp. That was a good one.
Yeah,
so
I think we get an instant run back too. If I get knocked out, I get to challenge the new champ, the would-be champ. If that's the case too. So your
so-
victory was a little short-lived.
So,
Well, I will tell you that if we'd beaten you, either of us, we were going to race each other just to settle things before we let anyone else race us first. So
That's fair.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Will Bloodworth has the next quarter on the machine for you, so he's up.
yeah.
All right,
and
all right.
in addition, SpellzApp, Falconic did call you out in chat to a race with a party of his choosing.
You know,
Which-
I
Falconic
think
special.
we
All 4 white mages.
no, actually, I think we have a
SpellzApp
little
already
bit
did
of,
that.
unfinished business with a two red mage, 2 white mage party. You know, he did sneak a win out on me the last time we met up with that party, so maybe we run that back and see how that goes.
Let's just do the Will Bloodworth and do the single ninja. The single thief, no tail strats.
It's one of those things. I'm just going to point out that, I'm sure that whoever wins between SpellzApp and Will Bloodworth would be willing to accept that challenge. Because you both are insane.
Yeah, we're a little crazy.
But I mean, that's what makes the IronGol Heavy Metal Championship beautiful, is it's an excuse to let your freak flag fly.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I guess we need to give Dang the rest of his night back, so shall we move on to final thoughts? Let's start with Dwight.
GG SpellzApp, thanks for the interesting challenge. It was pretty fun. Seems pretty good. I never got traction, but so that's why I just quit. Give Dang back the rest of his night.
Darkmoon, what about you?
Happy it was as close as it was, considering the fact that when we went in, seriously, Dwight and I were saying we're going to get crushed by like 20 minutes. He's going to salt the earth with our corpses afterwards. It'll be hysterical to watch after. No, 6 minutes is a time I'm going to take. I'm happy with that.
I don't know, that is a completely respectable finish. All
I feel
things
like-
considered.
I feel like the last few weeks of practice with Sony Wrath on the out co-op and everything else, my menuing's getting faster, my routing still gets confused once in a while, but I'm starting to get on my own head, so another year or so from now, I might be able to take on SpellzApp again.
Alright, and SpellzApp, you got any final thoughts? Any words for your upcoming would-be challengers?
You know, I believe I just got called out in chat, but we'll answer that one later. You know, I'm always willing to
Ooh.
accept some spicy flags or whatever. Anything. I don't think I've turned down anything yet from a flag set, but to these two, you know, I saw them just planning out a little bit of IronGol matchup, and I said, "Hey, let's try something different. Let's get crazy with it." And you know, they were happy to oblige, and you know, they're great competitors. So thanks for doing this for me here.
Thanks, Zap. Anytime you want to do something crazy again, you just let us know.
Well, Falconic has declared that he's coming for you in Dangwoo's chat, so we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, no, this was this was a fun match to get to call for a return to commentary. So
Good to
I'm
have
glad
you
y'all
back.
did it. Thank you. So Duchess, why don't you go ahead and take us on home?
Well, I just want to give a shout out to everyone involved today. Thank you guys for a great match, Dwight, Darkmoon, and SpellzApp. SpellzApp, I know you're too humble, but basically he wanted to say, listen, get the bust ready, get the marble, chisel me, because I'm a god. I am the SpellzApp. GG's again to you. Woe, literally, like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, was super honored to be in the booth with you. Great to have you back. Hope that you'll be doing more of these. Also, we need to give a special shout out to Dangwoo doing the tracking, doing the restreaming so that everyone can enjoy this fun tonight. I'm hoping that everyone had a really great night. Get your request in the SpellzApp because he's looking to body everyone. And have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, and we will see you again.